Alright, I am live to bring to you the Dallas Cowboys breakdown in Tecmo Super Bowl for the Nintendo Entertainment System. The Dallas Cowboys in this game is from their 1990 roster, in which they were 7-9 that season, coming into their own. And before I get into the breakdown of the roster, I want to tell you something about you should be prepared for if you play in Tecmo Madison. Because when I played in Tecmo Madison 12, my first round opponent was this guy right here. Take a close look. There he is. First round opponent. Completely sauced. Drunk out of his mind. Had great knowledge of the NFL back in the 90s. But not too much Tecmo knowledge, unfortunately. And the thing you have to be prepared for is the fact that he might bring people around that are cheering for him so hard. It was a big show. You know, I remember early in that game I fumbled. And, it was looking like he might have had a chance. But no, I took him down. He didn't score a point. It was 37-0, 44-0, something like that. And, his next round didn't fare too well. But he made it a great time in our pool play in Tecmo Madison. So just be prepared and expected for players that might come completely drunk, ready to play some Tecmo Super Bowl. And I thought, since there is no noon game today on Divisional Playoff Sunday, I should bring to you the Dallas Cowboys, which are playing today. Not this Dallas Cowboys team, the 2017. But let's take a look at the team. So first, you got Troy Aikman. He is not that great yet. He's only 44 pass control, which is about average to a little below average. The thing I like about Troy Aikman, though, is he has a 50 passing speed, which is a little bit faster than a lot of quarterbacks. So you can squeeze some balls in there. Accuracy of passing doesn't do anything. Don't pay attention to that stat. Avoid pass block is a 50. And maximum speed 13, so not too mobile. But Troy's your guy at quarterback. And then you got Babe. Babe is a 44 passing speed, which is alright. Only a 38 pass control, not good. But he's only one notch below Troy Aikman. So basically in Tecmo ratings, a 38 is only one notch below a 44. So if Babe goes into excellent condition throughout the course of the game, and Troy Aikman's condition falls, he can actually have better pass control. So just keep an eye on him. Check the conditions in the second quarter and beyond and see how he's doing. Emmitt Smith. So Emmitt Smith is a 38 running speed, 69 rushing power. And he has that 56 maximum speed, one of the greatest running backs of all time. And he has the speed to back it up with that 56. 50 ball control, only 38 receptions. Tommy Aggie, you're putting him on the bench because he just doesn't have the maximum speed. His receptions is only a 44, and 44 hitting power isn't going to do much for you. So, what you want to do, Highsmith's already in there, put him in, take Aggie out of the game. So Alonzo Highsmith, it's not that he's that much greater, but he's faster, 38 maximum speed, and then the same amount in receptions. Robert Perryman, only a 31 maximum speed. He's not going to do too much for you on the bench. Kelvin Martin, he is one of your top receivers with the 56 receptions. Only a 38 maximum speed, so he's more of a possession receiver. He's not burning anybody. But look to him. And then Michael Irvin, a little bit faster. He has 44 maximum speed, so you'll be able to get by some drone, some drone defenders with Michael Irvin. Not too many user defenders with that 44. He has a solid 50 receptions and 50 ball control. Alexander Wright, He's not looking too good. Only 44 receptions. Really slow as a receiver. 25 maximum speed. James Dixon, 31 maximum speed. Only 44 receptions. He's staying on the bench. And then your star, tight end, Jay Novacek. He has that 44 maximum speed, which is pretty fast for a tight end. 69 hitting power. That's your strongest hitting power on offense. So you put him at kick returner. 50 ball control, and a 69 in reception. So if you're going for that covered catch, Jay Novacek is the guy to throw it to. He's also tied for fastest receiver on the team with Michael Irvin. And since Jay Novacek is so good, you got Bob Awalt. You're not going to do much with him. He does have that 56 hitting power, but only 19 maximum speed, 31 receptions. So the Dallas offensive line, I would say it is about average. You have 2 weak points, one being the center, 38 hitting power. He's looking like he gave popcorn, flattened at the line. And then you got a 50 hitting power, that's just average. And then another weak guard with 44. So those are the ends coming against those guards. I don't like that matchup at all. But their tackles aren't too bad. You got Kevin Gogan, 56 hitting power. And then Nate Newton with a ton of hitting power, 75. It's going to be tough to get around this guy. And his maximum speed's at 25. So due to how the game was programmed, your kick returner will have a 25 maximum speed. Ken Willis, your kicker. Of course, he has that maximum speed at 81, so you can go make a tackle on the kickoff. All the kickers are like that. But his kicking ability is a 44, and that's good at a range at about a 67-yard field goal. So, 67-yard field goal. You get to about the 50-yard line. He should be able to do it because you got to calculate 10 yards of the end zone, 7 yards back for the kicker, and there you go, 67-yard field goal. Mike Saxton, the punter, looking pretty good, but I don't get too excited over punters in Tecmo Super Bowl, and neither should you. You wouldn't do too well at the Tecmo Madison tournament if you did. Now, the Dallas defense, I actually like the Dallas defense, and I think it is very well balanced. So your line has a couple guys that could hold their own with Tony Tolbert, 38 maximum speed, 50 hitting power. Your nose tackle with the 44 maximum speed, that's fast for a nose tackle, 50 hitting power. And then Daniel Stubbs is the best guy in the line at left end, 50 maximum speed, 56 hitting power. 19 interceptions, you're not going to bring him back for coverage. Quickness, 69, but like I always say in these videos, the ratings of quickness doesn't do anything, so don't pay attention to it. And then your linebacking core, I like the linebacking core as well. Ken Norton, not good hitting power, 38, but 44 maximum speed. For a linebacker, it's not bad. He also has a 31 interception rating, which is above average for a linebacker. Eugene Lockhart, 50 maximum speed, 56 hitting power. And then the guy right next to him in the middle, also 50 maximum speed, 56 hitting power. They're both 19 interceptions, so they're not coverage linebackers. But both of the guys you can blitz in with them, 56 hitting power. You can hit some guys off on the line. So you have the option of those two guys in the middle. I like that. And then Blackjack Del Rio, the coach of the Oakland Raiders, maybe Las Vegas Raiders soon, I don't know. But he is actually the weaker of the linebackers with only a 38 maximum speed and 38 hitting power. The Dallas Cowboys secondary, something I also like. Manny Hendrix, 63 maximum speed. He's your fastest guy in the defense, 50 hitting power. Only a 44 interceptions. That's okay. And then Issiac Holt with the 56 maximum speed, 56 hitting power, a little higher in interceptions with 50. So you can switch between the two cornerbacks with the Dallas Cowboys. And then the safeties aren't bad either, to be honest. They're both at a 50 maximum speed. So Ray Horton's a 50 maximum speed, 56 hitting power, 44 interceptions. And then James Washington, he's at a 50 maximum speed, 50 hitting power, and a 50 interception rating. Your punt returner will also take this 50 maximum speed because the punt returner replaces the strong safety on punt returns. So if you put Jay Novacek there, he will have that 50 maximum speed. I like the Dallas Cowboys secondary. I like their linebacking core, and their D-line solid as well. So they have a solid defense for sure. So let's get into the matchups now. The chat box is open for anyone who's viewing this live. I don't know why you wouldn't. There's no NFL game right now. The Steelers and Chiefs got pushed back to the night game. And then the Green Bay Packers and Dallas Cowboys play at, I think, 3:30, 3:45, somewhere in between there. Okay, Dallas Cowboys. So heading into Tecmo Madison 12, I didn't do any kind of refresher on the rosters like I'm doing now, putting them on YouTube for everyone to take a look at and be prepared for the tournament. So I was on a kick with the Dallas Cowboys at Tecmo Madison 12. I just liked their flexibility on defense between the corners. I liked that they had a faster running back. I didn't think Troy Aikman was too bad as a quarterback. He had a little bit faster passing speed. They don't have as much speed at receiver as I would like, but I did pick the Dallas Cowboys in a lot of matchups at Tecmo Madison 12, and I won most of them. The Dallas Cowboys got deferred to me. I think I lost with them at least once to DT, who won my pool at Tecmo Madison 12. But this is who I would match them up against. So Dallas, in the AFC East, I would match them up against the Dolphins. The reason I match them up against the Dolphins is because I love using the Dolphins. And I know if I match them up against the Dolphins, I'm not going to have to worry about their running game. And I'm going to have a strong running game with Dallas if they pick the Dolphins. So I like picking the Dolphins-Dallas matchup. That's one to pick for sure. And then Dallas-Washington is another matchup you could pick. Now I think Washington and also Miami do have the advantage in these matchups slightly. Washington, everyone has that 81 ball control, but they have faster receivers. Their quarterback's at about the same pass control rating of the 44. The running back's a little bit slower, but their defense is a little stronger, especially with Darrell Green with that 75 maximum speed. Anyone else in the division? Giants, no, they're too strong. Eagles, that's a wild card, but I probably wouldn't do it. In the AFC Central, I would only match them up against the Steelers. The Bengals are a little bit too strong and complete for the Dallas Cowboys. Houston, they're a top-tier team. So Pittsburgh Steelers, that's a good matchup. The Steelers are stacked on defense, but offensively, they're very slow, and you have enough talent on the Dallas defense to slow them down. So expect a low-scoring game, but you can match them up against Pittsburgh. Bubby Brister has that cannon, and then the pickle man, Vlasic Pickle, comes off the bench if you need some JJs. And then there's quite a few teams I'd match them up in the NFC Central. The Detroit Lions, a great head-to-head running back matchup. Two of the best running backs of all time, Barry Sanders versus Emmitt Smith. Detroit has a little bit of scrambling action at quarterback. Their defense isn't as strong, though, but that's a good matchup. Because you have a good running back either way. So if you like strong running backs, Detroit, Dallas might be the matchup for you. And then I would match them up against the Vikings. The Vikings, not as strong offensively, especially at the running back position, not as fast. Herschel Walker's only a 44 maximum speed, but they have a good defense. That's a good matchup, Dallas and Minnesota. I would also match them up against Tampa Bay. Now, Tampa Bay has Wayne Haddix on defense and then not much else, so you're definitely going to have a worse defense, but offensively, you can scramble a little bit with Vinny Testaverde. You have a 50 maximum speed of Gary Anderson at running back, so they're not a bad matchup as well. I would say that one is very even. And then out of the AFC West, you can match them up against Denver. That may have been one of my matchups at the Tecmo Madison tournament. Elway, his pass control's bad. He has fast passing speed. But you're going with another strong running back matchup because they have Bobby Humphrey, and he's a 63 maximum speed. And the defense is pretty comparable to Dallas, probably a little less, to be honest. Kansas City's too strong for them. I would also match them up against the Chargers. Now the Chargers, they have some good defenders, especially Gilbert. They're faster at running back with Marion Butts, but they have some quarterback issues. Billy Joe Tolliver's got a cannon, but not good pass control. And then finally, out of the AFC West, the only team I would match them up against is the Rams. The Rams are always a scary team offensively, like I say, because of their quarterback, Jim Everett, and the two guys as the receivers, Henry Ellard and Flipper Anderson. So that's a little bit of a scary matchup. But Dallas has the secondary to deal with it. We just went through the team. Dallas has a strong secondary. So that's a good matchup. Rams aren't as good on defense. So there you go. So let's match up Dallas. I'm going to use Dallas. And, I would match them up against the Packers because they're playing today, but the Packers are not in their league. So let's just go up against the Lions. We'll give you that Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith matchup. All right, let's do this. So, Dallas and the Lions, they have similar colors as their jerseys, where Dallas is a little bit darker. We always wonder when the teams are playing and their helmet colors are the same with that silver. I always think it's got to be a little bit harder for them to figure out who's on their team, especially for the quarterback when you got to react so quickly. So most of the time on defense, I'm just going to switch between the two corners. And Ronnie Pete delivers a nice throw. Ronnie Pete's a weak passer, so you will be able to pick him off. But you got to look out for Barry. And Ronnie Pete. Look at him. Look at him go. So when you see this 4 wide, you see a lot of run and shoot in Tecmo Madison. You want to get, if you have the luxury like Dallas has of switching between both corners, which are good and have good maximum speed, you want to try to figure out or try to guess which pass play they're picking, because Barry Sanders will kill you with one of the runs to the left or the right. So if you did guess a run to the left, then obviously you pick the corner on the right. Or no, that's not, I said that wrong. You want to bring the corner from the opposite side. So if you went right, Lions have the edge. What's up, Nick? How's it going? Yeah, Lions might have a slight edge. I mean, Barry Sanders, he's the second fastest running back with the 69 maximum speed, so they do have a little bit of advantage at the running back position. And the Cowboys don't have much of an advantage at quarterback. No one's open. I'm throwing one down the field. Michael Irvin, see what he's got. And it's covered. It's not going to get too many covered catches with the Cowboys. The ratings aren't good enough. What you just saw there is one DB covering the guy on the Cowboys. Whenever that happens, the game has a formula that calculates the pass control of the quarterback, the receptions of the receiver, and the interceptions of the DB to decide how that play is going to turn out, basically. So that's why you want to have these higher ratings at pass control and receptions on offense. So, and there's a touchdown for Novacek. If you have triple coverage it doesn't help to have triple coverage, because if you have double coverage, then it will bounce between the two defensive players' interception rating, also versus the pass control and reception rating of that receiver. So it does help to get that second defender on a receiver. So the third one, you will see Jerry Rice catch some balls in between triple coverage, but that third receiver is not necessarily doing anything. So let me try to explain better. Yeah, the Dallas Cowboys were the real deal back then. In this 1991 season, they actually went 11-5, made the playoffs, and then from there, they won 2 Super Bowls in 92 and 93. Alright, so this play, I'm going to guess pass or run 1. So I'm guessing run 1. So that's a run to the top side. So I'm not worried about it over here. To stop the play, if it's a run at the bottom, I actually want Hendrix, so it's a passing play. So I'm just going to go back in coverage here. Okay, so I'm going to guess run 1 again. And then I want to pick the guy on the opposite side of the defense. And the reason I do that is because there's no blockers that go after him. Now this one's a dead giveaway because you got trips on the bottom side, and you know that's always a passing play. Another covered catch for the Lions. Wow. Okay, so this could be a run either side. And I guessed right, so I should be able to stop it as long as I can out-tackle him. Now the computer, you should be always able to out-tap the computer. So for the viewers out there, who do you got between the Cowboys and the Packers today? I'm thinking the Packers are going to win. Alright, so it's a run to the upside. I always feel like Rodney Peete moves faster when the computer's controlling him. When you're using him as a user, he doesn't seem to move that fast. So this again, trips bottom side. You know it's their pass play. It's not a play that too many people use, just because it doesn't have that advantage of the shotgun for a little bit more time to make a decision. They really want to run Rodney Peete instead of Barry Sanders. And it looks like the Lions are going for a field goal. And Norton, 44 maximum speed. And they put it through off the upright. So field goals in a tournament like Tecmo Madison are going to matter because there's top defensive players. And a lot of times you're going to be forced to kick those field goals. So practice your field goals going into the tournament. Line them up nice. Let's get them through the middle. Nothing. Blowing up that interior of the Dallas Cowboys. And I guess that play. Offensively, I mean, the Cowboys are just, besides Emmitt Smith, they're just okay. But you want to get the ball to Emmitt as much as you can, because he's the only guy with that faster maximum speed. Should be able to hit him, and it's a JJ. Pass control is just good enough. It seems like with the 44 pass control, JJ's happening more often. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. So I will say, at the Tecmo Madison 12, I picked the Cowboys in a lot of matchups. I was just feeling them for some reason. I did go 3-2 in the tournament, in the double elimination. Like I said, I lost to the same guy twice, DT. But A lot of my games, besides for that first round matchup that I talked about in the very beginning, were close. You know, they were kind of shootouts. I thought I was going to be able to do more defensively, but you know, I think in all the matchups I chose, the Cowboys were probably a little bit of the inferior team. The thing about the Cowboys is they are in those middle of road teams, but you know, other teams just have a slight advantage on them. Wow, Rodney Pete's throwing some strikes, but that's not going to get him in the end zone. So those are tough throws to make, especially on a streaking receiver from the opposite side of the field. But with Dallas offensively, you can mix it up a lot. See, Troy to Emmitt Smith, they just don't have... The reason he dropped that is because Troy's pass control is only a 44, and Emmitt Smith is, what is he? He's in good condition now, so he's 44 receptions. And Aikman's in good, so he's up to a 50 pass control, so I don't know what's going on there. He should have caught that one. But like I said, it's based off of percentage. Line that up. Michael Irvin. Like I said, he has enough speed to pull away from the drone defenders at 44 maximum speed. That's kind of like the sweet spot of getting away from computer defenders is at 44. Anything less than that, it's kind of tough. They just don't have the speed to do it. But just remember, the offense and defensive speeds, even though they have the same rating system, the defensive speeds are always faster. So a guy at 75 maximum speed on defense is always faster than a guy with 75 maximum speed on offense. And there's a pick. That's what I would expect from the Dallas secondary. Let's give Highsmith a carry up the middle. See what he can do with it. Oh, and he's got just enough speed to get some yards. Running up the middle with Dallas is tricky because they have a weak interior line, so keep that in mind. You might even want to pick a different running play than 2 runs up the middle. It's just a thought. I believe I said their offensive line's average. But yeah, it hovers in that average to below average range. Let's see what Barry can do. So this is a pass play. You get the trips at the bottom. You always got to be paying attention to that stuff. Don't let your mind wander. I know sometimes when I'm playing Tecmo, since I've been playing it on autopilot ever since I was a young kid, that, you know, your mind can drift and you could go into autopilot, but when you're playing in the tournament, you really got to focus in on what you're doing. Alright, so this play I'm going to guess run 3. So I know I'm going to blitz and be covered at the bottom. So if they run to the top, I need Holt, and they do run to the top. So there's not blockers there running after me, and I could go make that play. And the computer will punt in the third quarter, even though they're down 28-3. Novacek is deep. You should have that 50 maximum speed. A lot of times, if you're playing in the tournament, I would suggest getting your punt return out of bounds, because I've seen way too many punt return fumbles in my day to be too confident in returning the ball. Punt returns are difficult in this game anyways. And when you're picking offensive plays, sometimes you want to try. You want to try to figure out what your opponent might pick, but I don't think that's the best way to do it, especially on offense. Just try to get into a rhythm, pick the play you want, and then worry about diving into your opponent's psyche on defense. I seem to feel like I play better and looser when I'm just in a rhythm on offense and picking the plays I want. And then if they guess it, I got to know where my check downs, my hot routes are, and just hit those. Hi, Smith. Doing it. So, you will see Dallas called a lot in Tecmo Madison. You might want to try to be prepared to use them. If anyone picks the Cowboys in a matchup with some of those mid-lower tier teams like the Jets or the Cardinals, you really got to figure out too what you're going to do if you go up against the Steelers and Cowboys, because a lot of elite players, they like to use the Steelers because their defense is so dominant, and they feel like they'll be able to gradually get up the field even though they're very slow on offense and just dominate you with their defense. So you got to be prepared for a called matchup and pick the team you're more comfortable with. If I got picked, Steelers Cowboys matchup is a tough one for me to choose. Honestly, I think Dallas's defense is good enough to get the job done, especially against Pittsburgh's offense. So I'd probably pick Dallas just because I know, even though that defense is dominant, if I break one good play with Emmitt Smith, that could be the difference in the game. But that is what your opponent's trying to do at Tecmo Madison when they pick a matchup, is put you in an uncomfortable position. So if a lot of times, players that are comfortable with the Steelers will put them in a matchup just because they know you probably won't pick them because their offense is bad. But a lot of matchups are going to be called in between these mid-tier teams, so you should be prepared for that. Rodney Pete getting carries still at this point in the game. Unreal. Running Barry up the middle for nothing. There you go, another trips play. Is Rodney gonna run? No. That should have been a pick. Come on. I would assume at this point in the game they're not going to run, but you never know. And they're not. And there's another pick for the Cowboys. Alright. So 31 seconds left. If this game was coming down to the line, you would want to throw up the big JJ, and I'm going to do it to Jay Novacek. He's my best receiver. Got to time it right, and there it is. The diving catch for Jay Novacek. That's got to be aggravating for the Lions defense. If a game ends like that at Tecmo Madison, and you were winning by like 3 or 4 points, I'm sorry. That's just how this game is, That's stuff like that can happen. 100-yard bomb, just like you saw there. And Alonzo Highsmith leads the team in carries, 400 yards, 14. Troy Aikman having himself a field day, coming into his own, trying to get that Pro Bowl. I'm assuming was he announcing yesterday? I don't know. But Troy Aikman and Joe Buck in the Fox broadcast. And then you got Michael Irvin also in that field. So, today we broke down the Dallas Cowboys on the eve of them playing the Packers to see who goes to the NFC Championship. I would say the Dallas Cowboys are a team you will see at the tournament. Be prepared to use them or play against them. Get comfortable with the Dallas Cowboys. Look through the teams and see which matchups you will call. A lot of the matchups that I said I would call in this, I think the other teams do have a slight advantage on the Cowboys. But I'm comfortable with the Cowboys, so I would call those matchups. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see these live, you can always just subscribe to the channel, download the YouTube Gaming app. It will send your phone a notification. But I'll be back next time in the AFC Central with the Cincinnati Bengals, James Brooks, Boomer Esiason, David Fulcher, Ickey Woods. We'll take a look at this team. Another team you will see at Tecmo Madison. So, thanks for watching the stream. I'll see you guys next time.